Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about the case of Jim Donovan. In chapter 3 we learned about perception. Most of us already know this, but perception is a process in which we make initial observations about people, situations, and places. These perceptions are influenced by our own preconceived notions and experiences, meaning two people can perceive the very same experience quite differently. In the case of Jim Donovan, perhaps his initial call to Don Bird, the current president of Famous Products, could have been more of an informal conversation, a get to know you, as they would say, rather than just a call basically saying, I'm going to be in town for 4 hours on Thursday, and then I'm going to be leaving shortly afterwards. I mean, it's kind of abrupt. It's kind of difficult for a very short and fast, quick introduction, especially if you're taking over someone's job. They've had it for 22 years, right? You want to have a little bit of tact. Maybe before arriving on Thursday, he could have had a conversation with Don and basically said, I've been promoted to this role. I know that you're being promoted to the board of directors. You had a very long career with the company. What recommendations, what word of advice can you give me? A little bit of insight. He could have talked about maybe his own education, his own, career path that brought him to this, about his family, things like that. Build some type of relationship with Don. And then he could have basically asked the same questions of Don. So rather than showing up on Thursday being the very first interaction that he has with Don, he should really have shown a little bit more respect and admiration, like I said, for Don's 22 years of service, rather than just abruptly showing up. But unfortunately, that's not what Jim did. So now he's found himself in this really awkward situation at the executive board meeting on Thursday. So the first thing that Jim should do is basically stand up. He should introduce himself to the team, maybe direct a comment to Don, basically saying, I'm really sorry that you feel that way, Don. I do hope that over time we can mend a relationship, that you'll feel differently about the work that I've come here to accomplish. I'm very excited to be here to work with this great company and with this executive team. The company has a great reputation around the world. A lot of that is because of the people in this room, you as well, Don, and I hope to build on that and learn as much as I can from everybody. He could also say that he has an open door policy. He wants to have conversations with everybody. He wants to get to know everybody, and he wants them to get to know him as well. After the meeting, I would take as much time as necessary, even if it meant that he's not leaving on Thursday, that or right after that meeting, to go around to meet the people at the plant, have informal introductions with them, see where they work, what they do, what a normal day in the office looks like, and then have people get to know him as well, obviously, just walk around. Within the first few days, he should certainly set up meetings with everybody that was at that executive meeting. I would suggest something very informal, like over coffee, maybe a happy hour after work, or lunch and dinner. I would do it on a one-on-one basis and just, have those initial conversations with people and basically say, look, I'm now in this role. This is what I've come here to do. Maybe dispel any rumors, give people confidence in the fact that you can do the job, that you're qualified for the job, and then, answer any questions that they may have. And then also, take it as an opportunity to build relationships with each one of them, since you're going to be working so closely together, and sort of get a rapport going. And so they feel comfortable with you, they can ask questions, they can go with you, things like that. And then, I imagine that Don's initial impression of Jim wasn't a very good one, obviously. If he had done some of the things that I mentioned above, especially in our very first conversation and interaction, I think that Don's initial impression of him would have been a little bit different. For instance, had Jim spoken to and met Don prior to the Thursday morning executive meeting, he, like I said, would have had a much more positive, one would hope, reaction to Jim taking over his job after 22 years. And hopefully he wouldn't have just stood up in front of everybody and said that he wasn't qualified. But he's in the situation now, and hopefully he can change everybody's initial impression and perception of him. All right, thank you so much.